Now the other thing that you can do to save yourself a little bit of money. Welcome back out to the channel, everybody. My name is Aaron. This is from the Ground Up RC. If you have not been here before, hit the subscribe button, smash the bell icon, get notified every time we got new videos, which is hopefully every Wednesday. And if you enjoy the video, don't forget to thumbs up it. So today we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna talk about going over your plans, trying to figure out what you're gonna need for a materials list, and then getting your parts cut out. So last week we talked about kind of what general meanings of certain things on the plans were. Today we might go into a little more depth on that, just out of the fact that we're talking about how to figure out what we're going to need. So we're going to set this aside here and we're going to start looking at this. All right, so when it comes time to make an order list or a material list, say you're going to run to the hobby shop, you're going to pick up your wood, or you know, if you don't have one around, you got to order online. You kind of look at this stuff, and then you're going to look at your parts templates. This one didn't have one for the wings. I used this piece here. This came out of the doubler on the inside of the fuselage, and I used that to make our top wing template, and then we just kind of figured out the rest from there. So anyway, so to get started, one of the things you're going to need to know is that the most common sheeting size is 3 inches by 36 inches. So the reason that's important is that's the most cost effective. You can get 4-inch wide. I believe you can get 5-inch wide, but stuff just gets real expensive. You can get it 48 inches long. Is you got to figure out how many parts you can fit on one sheet. To roughly figure that out, I'll take a measurement off of that there. So, right, so that shows 7.5 inches, and it's about 1 inch tall. So you'd figure on your piece of wood, you're going to come in probably 8 inches. This end 1/2 inch. Can sometimes have splits and stuff, so you got to plan for waste. So you got to figure 8 inches of that by 2 inches of that is pretty much going to be used up with 2 of those ribs. And we know, based on looking at the plans, we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and another 6 of this top rib. So if you figure, you know, you can just do a little math, or you can just measure it all out. Figure 8 inches, and then from that point you can go with your 7.5, you know, plus another 7.5. That'll give you 6 ribs. You could probably get away with doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So at that point you're using pretty much a whole half a sheet to make those ribs, and then we'll come up here. We'll do the same thing with that. So, you know, 7 inches. We only need 2 of those, 2 number 4s, 2 number 5s, and so on. And so you can lay them all out that way. And it figures for a lot of waste if you're trying to figure it out, but it's good to order extra. Once you get your stuff, you can lay your ribs out and kind of strategically, you know, stick them kind of like that. So not sure how well you can see that, but that's pretty much all the ribs we're gonna need for half of this wing, minus these ones up here. They're drawn out on this sheet, kind of, and I'm gonna make these ones out of 3/32. These balsa ribs are out of 1/16. So that's the other thing we need to look at, is we need to look at stuff like this. You know, is it saying 1/16 1/4 inch cap strip? Does it tell you what thickness the ribs need to be? things like that. And this one does not specify on the plans because they were already cut out, but the stuff I found online was saying 3/16 for these center ribs, and the 1/16 or 3/32 for these center ribs, and 1/16 for the rest of these ribs. So that's kind of the way I figured it. Now the other thing that you can do to save yourself a little bit of money, on bigger planes we don't use balsa for our spars. We use basswood or spruce, I think was the common practice. Basswood's a little cheaper, it's supposed to be similar in strength. This says 3/16 square spar, top and bottom. And so we need a spar for the bottom and we need a spar for the top. And you can buy these, they're typically, I don't know what they cost. Let's say they're $1 a piece. Well, you can get this sheet of 3/16 balsa for maybe $3-4, right? Well, this sheet's going to be 3 inches wide, 36 inches long, just like these are. And then you can go pick up something like this. It's just a stripper. Take it, if you need a square stock, we'll take that, stand it up on end, and then come in here, you tighten that blade up till it's tight on that side. Then you should be cutting out a square, and you'll just push it down, set it nice and flat, and then you just pull it through. I don't need to do that because, well, I cut out the ones I needed last night. So anyway, that's kind of roughly how to go over picking up some of that material. Most of your stuff's 36 inches long. This right here says 1¼ inch trailing edge stock. That's basically, it's already pre-shaped in the shape of your trailing edge, and so you can pick that up, or if you want to, you could take some 3/16, cut it at an angle, or plane it down, sand it, whichever it is that you think you want to do. I'll probably just order the stock because I'm lazy, and so that'll cover all that stuff. Anyway, so once you get that all figured out, it's handy to have a piece of paper. You write down the different stuff that you need, 1/16 sheet, 3/32 sheets, 1/8 sheets. And then as you go through and kind of figure out your parts on the sheets, just do tally marks. So say I figured I'm gonna need 3 sheets. I just 1, 2, 3, for the templates, and then I look at this and it's like, oh, wait a second, I'm gonna need 1 whole sheet just for the top and bottom leading edges on this wing. So there's another sheet right there. And then we look at this block, we look at how thick our W9 is. That's our wing rib for right there. So we can look at how thick that is, measure out how far that's got to be, almost an inch. And so 3/4 by 1 block, we'll need 1. We got some other stuff we got to do with it and stuff like that. And then look at your leading edge, 1/4 inch by 1/2 inch leading edge, and you can order that way, or you could do the same thing. This one I don't know if we'll cut it that big. I do have a method. What I'll do is I'll take my sheet and I'll lay it down here. I'll measure over with this however far I need to. So let's say this black line's the edge of my sheeting. I'll measure over 1 inch and I'll put a pin right on the edge of that ruler, and then I'll take my big long straight edge, this one right here, and I'll set it up against that, and I'll take my knife and I'll slide it down along where I need it to cut. And you don't need to do it all at once, but it's handy. So look at stuff like that, and that should pretty much cover everything we're going to need for wood on our wings. And
well, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe. Share this with any friends that talk like they might be interested in getting into RC airplanes. So if you haven't seen our video checking out plans, you haven't seen any of our videos working on this beautiful piece of equipment back here, go ahead and check them out. They should be in a playlist, and we'll have a link up at the end. So anyway, catch you next week.